Football League on EA Sports. And we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. And it comes your way next on Madden Football.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence?
We are just about ready. Cameron Dicker has the honors, and we are underway here at SoFi. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their rookie QB, the young man out of Oregon.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now, because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Right to the air goes Nix. Over the middle, complete. That's Williams. So the completion gets him just a yard, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage, because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
To throw, here's Nix. Finding Williams once more, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That's good for a 1st down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run this.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Poona Ford, the one to get to him and drop him.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively, because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. Now it's Nix. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Sutton. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Marvin Mims from 10 yards out. And the Broncos will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Well, they spoke about the importance of getting off to a good start, and they're on their first drive, Charles, into the end zone for the touchdown.
And what an advantage for them. They're already clicking one drive in, didn't need to wait to get up to full speed. We had heard about the extra time they'd put in with each other, trying to learn each other's skills, what they liked, the whole deal, and it paid off early in this one. I would expect them to keep firing on the next drive and keep that connection going.
Lutz with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Here are the Chargers ready to go on offense, led by their first-round pick in 2020, the man out of Oregon, Justin Herbert.
And he is just absolutely marvelous to watch throw a football. That's something I could do all day long, watch him throw routes versus air. But he's even more impressive when there are bodies on the field, and he's creating with big throws downfield.
First carry now for Gus Edwards. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Cody Barton there to bring him down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Here's Herbert. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive, then you get a big sack there on 3rd down, and you make the home crowd go, shh.
There is a hush indeed. A 4th down, so the Chargers trot out J.K. Scott and Marvin Mims deep for Denver. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A first carry now. This is Williams. To about the 35, 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Nix. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains. Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 4. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. That good for 19 and a 1st down.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Throwing Nix. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it'll be 2nd down. To throw is Nix. Throw left side complete to Troutman. Only able to gain a couple there. And it'll leave him with third and a full yard to go.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Working out of the gun is Nix. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a
touchdown, Broncos. Cortland Sutton from 4 yards out. And the Broncos have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. A 10-play drive that time. And Cortland Sutton able to finish things off with the touchdown reception. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Chargers get set to go here for their 2nd drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Herbert now. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Back to throw here, Herbert. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Their quarterback in this offense heading back out to the field. He's got 2 touchdown passes on his first 2 drives, and he'll try again here on drive 3. Nix to the air. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And he'll be out of bounds Browns, but able to get it up past the 45. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
Up the middle, it's Williams. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
2nd and 7. Now a toss left side. It's Williams. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
From the gun on 3rd down, Nix. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
From the gun, it's a run for Williams. Gets around him and brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 55 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays. Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Nix. Short throw caught by Dulcich. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred the defense.
It goes as a gain of 6, and it's a first down. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Back to throw. Nix. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And the Broncos are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, he just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. Williams, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Back at the 2 now, here's 2nd and goal. Williams is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as they'll tackle him at the 3. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. This Charger defense continuing to hold the line. Now it's a 3rd and goal situation. They'll try and throw. Here's Nix. Eluding the pressure right. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Now Lutz for the field goal try. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. The kick by Lutz is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Chargers going to take over here one more time before the half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. And he's missed now in his first 4 passing attempts. The rhythm is just not there to begin this ball game.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now it's Herbert. This caught left side by the tight end Parham. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Justin Herbert looking to pass. Open man downfield, it's Palmer. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 23 yards, the final tally.
And a nice job by the 2 of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
Herbert back to the air. Complete to Johnston here. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, this from 39. And his kick is good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point a drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Oh, he's got a little daylight. 1 second, all that remains. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break, but I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this third quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose, and that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
From the 50, here's Herbert. Throw left side is hauled in by Palmer. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that can really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they give to Edwards. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
So from the 26-yard line, here's 2nd and 9. Herbert off of play action. On the move. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Herbert. Throw over the middle into the hands of the tight end Parham. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop it well short.
Chargers field goal, a 52-yard attempt.
And his kick is indeed good. And a second field goal here gets him back within 11 now. It's 17-6. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need him to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Broncos offense and Javonte Williams head out for this next drive. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the 3rd quarter. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. On play action, here's Nix. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. They'll get only a couple down to the 44. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
An extra cornerback now in the game for the Chargers here on third. Nix from the shotgun. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Broncos first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To throw, here's Nix. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. But found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Looking to throw. Nix. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's taken in by Dulcich. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the lead grows here incrementally, but I think the way their defense is playing, you feel okay with just getting 3.
They've definitely been stout so far, but now that could all change, because if one guy gets loose for 70 yards, this is a different game. But as it stands, field goals are good. Just keep adding to that lead.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And the Chargers coming out on the field now. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back. I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Herbert. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. So the completion good for 7 there, and that will bring up 2nd down. But that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 40. So it's a quarter that saw these two teams trade field goals here as we've reached the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory, right at the 40. Here's Herbert. Setting up the screen here to Edwards. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
They'll work from the 36 on 2nd and 6. Herbert throwing again. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he is going to have the Chargers first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
It's amazing how much advice defensive players get on 3rd down. You hear the bench screaming out, watch the draw, watch the screen, watch the pass here. Very rarely do they reference watching the fullback, and he slipped through and picked up a first down.
Pass out left finds Johnston. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. From the 20, here's 2nd and 2. They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert to the right side and complete to Hurst. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Edwards now on 1st and 10. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're...
And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Josh Palmer from 13 yards out. And the Chargers have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Extra point up and good by Dicker. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown pass to Josh Palmer. Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. And the football going back over to the Denver Broncos. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. Because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And he's going to have a Broncos first down as he's able to get this up to the 37-yard line. You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression battle.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself, and that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
So it's Bronco football as we get your reset here. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. 5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They run it again with Williams. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run down some clock with Williams.
And he is going to have the Broncos first, and that should be the capper.
And they will take a knee here.
Second and 11 now.
Delay of game, offense.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Still second down.
The win for the Broncos seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line.
What a game we were treated to in this one. And on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffer the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Southern California.